automakers often ply us car mags with high-end versions of the cars, the target being to dazzle us with powerful engines and complicated techno-wizardry. It's rare to help them to send spanning a low-spec car, but it really does occasionally happen, and it also often calculates well for him or her. Case in point, the Lexus RC Coupe. I've never been a tremendous fan in the top-of-the-line RCF, but I'm really pleased with the RC300 I drove the 2009 week. To be fair, our test car wasn't exactly a base model. A hefty report on options brought its $41,635 base price around nearly $51,000. But the RC300 will be the least expensive and least powerful model within the RC series. Wait a second, in ways if you were able to script your inner monologue on the needs of my story, isn't the most affordable RC the 200 tons? Not anymore. Up until recently, the 4-cylinder 200 tons was the elementary model. For 2018 it's been replaced because of the RC300 RWD, which contains the same 2.0T engine and rear-wheel drive. However, it's to not be confused with the RC300 AWD, which receives a 3.5-liter V6 and all-wheel drive. And then there's the RC350, which also has got the 3.5-liter V6, but an even more powerful version, 311 horsepower instead on the RC300's 260, and can be acquired with rear or all-wheel drive. All of which leaves me wondering which Lexus product plan or trip thus hitting his go on the conference room table. So, let's return to our more or less base model RC300, which I seem to be an extraordinarily pleasing car. What can one expect from an entry-level luxury coupe? It has to look great, it must be reasonably comfortable, and it also has to deliver some modicum of driving pleasure, but not really much that it embarrasses the pricier go-faster models. The RC300 checks 71 boxes. Let's get started with the looks. I know, the Lexus spindle grille is usually a matter of contention among car buffs. I can't say I'm a follower, but just like a leg that aches if it rains, I'm becoming accustomed to it. Beauty is inside the eye on the beholder, how's that for just a casual cop-out? But overall I like how the RC looks, bold, aggressive, and purposeful. I such as the RC's interior styling too, though I cannot say enough nasty reasons for having Lexus remote touch interface, which requires someone to stare in the center screen while diddling a touchpad using your finger. Substantially fact you ought to have your eyes on the streets and your face to face the wheel. Thank goodness this wretched thing is optional. The RC gives you good redundant controls to the stereo and air conditioning equipment, including nifty touch-sensitive slide panels to regulate temperature. They're fiddly but worth it to the cool factor. Comfort, yep, the RC has that a lot. The RC carries a classic close-slung sports car seating position, with supportive seats and also a reasonable level of headroom. Up front, which is. Forget around the back seat, which can be cramped and extremely hard to get into for individuals who cannot dislocate their hips anytime. Spared on the need to supply track-worthy handling, the RC delivers a comfortable, compliant ride that keeps you hold of the road without reminding you of each and every single bumpy detail. And that's liable to bring us on the most important bit, driving dynamics. The RC300 RWD packs a 241 horsepower 4-cylinder turbo engine backed by an 8-speed automatic transmission. There's a little bit of turbo lag from your dead stop, and also the 7.3-second 060 time Lexus figure won't set the streets afire. But like the majority of 2.0 TS, the RC's engine features a nice solid mid-range, using its 258 lb-ft torque peak offered by 1650 to 4400 rpm. The 8-speed automatic isn't exactly John Yon's spot for part throttled downshifts. However, if you use the standard fit paddle shifters, it's all too easy to keep the engine for the boil. It's challenging to say much around the soundtrack, ever since the RC's cabin is quite quiet. In the interests of journalistic integrity, I took the RC to get a fast operate on my favorite curvy canyon road. I wasn't seeking to be blown away. In reality, given my previous experiences seeking to hotshot Lexus products, I was rather hoping to be bored. But the RC 300 impressed me. The grip through the optional summer tires is modest, which I think about plus. I such as a car that lets go slightly early in order to play with it a little. The steering isn't great, it feels okay just off-center, nevertheless the effort loads up quickly, drowning out much with the feedback being offered. But the chassis is surprisingly well balanced, also it's willing to rotate if handled correctly. Even if you leave stability control on, never an unsatisfactory idea, there will still be precious quarter seconds where one can feel the car transitioning between under and oversteer. It's a sensible way to fine-tune your driving technique while decreasing the risk of chucking yourself along with your Lexus in the trees. Besides, the fact the stability control system cuts in so quickly can make it feel a lot more naughty. Don't small victories taste sweeter within the yoke of tyranny? Clearly, I enjoyed my time inside the not-quite-BIS model RC 300, then one might reasonably ask the amount those $9,500 in options will often have affected my. Let's go for the Monroney, $795 of the total visited 19 wheels and summer tires. Yes, I'd want those. Other optional bits included LED headlights and fog lights pass. Extra interior upgrade package, I could live without it, though I'd miss the rain-sensing wipers and power-adjustable steering column. A trunk spoiler definitely pass. Navigation with remote touch, oh, God spare all of us, please pass, as well as a few other things. In theory, I could receive an RC using a $42,160 automobile that would cause me to just as happy. $42,160 is usually a nice number. It's $1,600 less than an entry-level Audi A5 and $3,600 lower than an entry-level BMW 430i Coupe. Granted, both these cars offer manual transmissions as opposed for the RC's standard fit automatic. That could be a plus or a disadvantage determined by your priorities. For me, manual equals better. Both of the German cars are a little bit better to drive from the curves, however the front-drive A5 offers less tail-up-heuristic opportunity, and both offer better optional infotainment systems. Still, considering just how much car you get with the money, and also the added bonus of Lexus' proven long-term reliability, I think the RC can be an impressive car. Lexus, it is best to send the cheap stuff to us more frequently. 2018 Lexus RC 300 specifications. Price: $41,365 base, $50,973 as tested. Engine: 2.0-liter 16-valve DOC turbocharged I-4241 HP at 5,800 revolutions per minute, 258 lb-ft at 1,6504, 400 revolutions per minute. Transmission: 8-speed automatic. Layout: 2-door, 4-passenger, front engine, RWD coupe. EPA mileage: 2,232 city highway. LXWXH 184.8 by 72.4 by 54.9 inches, wheelbase. 107.5 inches, weight. 3,737 pounds, 060 miles per hour, 7.3 seconds estate. Top speed. 143 miles per hour estate.